Hey, Seekers, and welcome back to The Hanged Woman. I'm your host, Julienne Irons, and this month we've been exploring happiness from practical, scientific, and energetic angles. Last week, Raquel V. Saga reminded us that happiness is a frequency we allow, not a prize we have to chase. Today, we're continuing in the energetic space with Aissa Thalia, whose work centers on using happiness as a tool for manifestation. Aissa believes happiness is something we can actively cultivate through mindset shifts and the energy we choose to create within ourselves. Her philosophy centers on gratitude and appreciation for the present moment, knowing that when we live from a space of joy, we expand that energy outward, and the universe mirrors it back. She'll share how awareness, appreciation, and focusing on what's working can shift our vibration from lack to abundance. And it's definitely not about being happy all the time. We talk about how working through our negative emotions is actually the key to manifesting the life we want. Because when you work through those emotions, you really truly find authentic joy. This is the Hanged Woman podcast where perspective is power. And let's get into it. Hey, fellow seekers. I'm taking a quick pause from the show to share something really close to my heart. And honestly, the only reason you're even listening to this podcast right now. It's Three of Cups. My sisters and I created Three of Cups, an Iron Sisters mission of love, as a space for healing, beauty, growth, and community, because we believe life is meant to be full, rich, and abundant in every way. We offer all kinds of ways to support you. Energy healing, heart-centered art, even marketing that will help you enhance your brand's presence in the world. Because wherever you are in your journey, we want to help you feel seen, supported, and empowered. So if you're looking for something to help fill your cup in whatever way you need, come join us. Follow us on Instagram at 3 of Cups Healing, or explore all of our offerings at 3ofcupshealing.com. Because Seeker, your cup deserves to be full. And now, back to the episode. Aissa, welcome to the show.
Hi, Julian.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, full disclosure, Aissa and I go way back. We've known each other for about 10 years now, and I love her so much.
Oh,
Genuinely love her so much.
thank you. That's so kind of you. I love you
Yes.
too, because we do go way, way back, girl.
Way back,
Way
girl.
back. Taking it back. Taking it back. I'm so honored to be here on your show. So
Thank
thank you.
you. So, Aissa, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in the work that you do?
Of course. So I am a happiness coach, and I started my journey to become a happiness coach because once upon a time, I felt that my life, my circumstances, my energy, just what was happening around me and within me had to change. Something had to shift for me. So I had a radical idea of I am going to change my life by changing how I think and feel. So then I started my happiness journey in that way, where I focused on, well, how can I shift my mindset? What is happening within my thoughts and with how I feel that are attracting circumstances and physical ailments to me? And in my journey of discovery, I realized, okay, it's not just mindset, it's actually the vibration that is created through your shifting of your mindset that changes the outcome of your circumstances and your life and how you feel. And I'm like, it's happiness. It is joy. Because when we are living in a space of joy, gratitude, and abundance, we are able to heal ourselves. That was part of my journey. We're able to fulfill our goals. That was part of my journey. We're able to be in a better mood. That was part of my journey. And then when I realized that it's a combination of, yes, mindset work, but more so being aware of the feelings and the emotions that I'm carrying with me moment to moment, that really made a difference in my life and it was impactful for me. I told myself, well, now I got to teach this to others. Like I now have to be the happiness coach for others to show them the way of healing themselves, to show them the way of manifesting their goals, of feeling happier, not feeling mad and angry and just not in alignment with their higher self. So that's how my journey started and how it's continuing. I love being able to help people that don't feel fully fulfilled, that are feeling stuck, that are feeling overwhelmed with their life, with their career, with their relationships, with their finances, get to a space of abundance and openness and joy so they can call in what they want, because I've seen it in my life.
Mm.
And it's a journey. It's a never-ending life practice of teaching yourself to have deliberate focus on feeling good, on shifting your thoughts, on shifting your vibration moment to moment. So that's how my journey started, and here we are today.
I love that so much.
Yes.
So, what do you mean when you say that happiness is an inside job?
I mean that happiness is an inside job because we cannot wait on others or circumstances to make us feel happy. We can't wait on our lover, on our mother, on the paycheck, on our promotion, on our anything to make us feel happy, because that is something outside of ourselves. And if we give that something outside of us that power of our joy, we never have control of ourselves from within. So it is an inside job to give ourselves the self love, the self validation, the self congratulations, the kind words of wisdom and compassion. It's our job to make ourselves happy. No one should have that weight and responsibility. Like it's our job to do the work. In the work meaning learning how to become aware of our thoughts, of our emotions, learning how to meditate, learning how to breathe deeply to release resistance, learning how to practice gratitude through journaling,
Mm.
learning how to affirm, how to speak nice things to ourselves. That's the work. Being kind to ourselves when we're not being nice to ourselves, overcoming those hurdles. That is part of the work. Working out, taking ourselves for a walk, going to the gym, taking a, let's say for example, a dance class. I'm a dancer, so I'm a big believer that dancing helps you shift your vibration instantly. But we have to do these things. We have to do the internal work for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think that we need other people's validation and the validation of circumstances to make us happy? Why do you think that we think that way?
Because it feels good.
Mm.
It feels good to get validation. And there's nothing wrong with getting validation from others. There's nothing
Mm.
wrong with feeling good when we've achieved a goal, when something good happens in our life, it should be celebrated. But I think because it feels good to receive that validation, then we're always craving it. And then we can easily get into the habit of seeking it once again outside of ourselves versus learning how to give ourselves our own self validation, which is harder to do.
Yeah.
It's very easy to default to negativity, to default to complaining, to default to thoughts of I'm not enough, what can I do better? Why didn't I do this differently? That's easier than telling yourself, wow, you did the best you could. Good job. I actually, like just talking to
Mm.
yourself nicely in a way of self-validation, it's more challenging because you have to really open yourself up to self-love, to higher frequencies of joy, of gratitude, of excitement. And those higher frequency emotions aren't practiced in society as the norm.
So you said it's difficult to give ourselves the validation. Do you think that it's difficult because we've been taught that other people's opinions, other people's beliefs about us are more important than our own beliefs about ourselves?
Possibly, depending in the household you grew up in and maybe what school you went to. I mean, that's possible, but I think we're celebrated when we do get the trophy, when we get the medal.
Mm.
We get celebrated as little kids when we get the A on the report card, the sticker for a good job.
Mm.
So we start really young with getting outside validation to reinforce a good job. Even when your mom's like, "Oh, you ate well," or you're a little baby and you're not spilling your food everywhere, and they're clapping for you, and so really early on, I think even before you can even articulate words, there's stimuli around you that is telling you, "Hey, if I do this well, someone will clap for me, someone will hug me, and that feels good." And there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, we want our mothers and fathers to hug us and clap for us and cheer for us. But then at the same time, it can translate long term as an adult of seeking validation if we're not taught to also give ourselves our self love and validation and kindness. So that's why I said it goes back to what household did you grow up in? How did you grow up? What did your parents teach you? What did your teachers teach you?
Okay, so I want to get into the juice of this episode, which is all about happiness and manifestation.
Okay.
How do gratitude and appreciation in the present moment influence manifestation?
When you're living in a space of gratitude and joy, you are automatically opening yourself up to a frequency of abundance. You're opening yourself up to receive and allow good things. So when you're feeling joyful, grateful, the universe will reflect back how you feel. So it will provide to you other circumstances that will make you feel those same like higher frequencies. It goes back to law of attraction. The universe will just give you what you are emitting out. It just attracts. It's like a mirror. You will attract, right? What you're giving out. Whether you are vibrating on a low frequency or vibrating on a high frequency, you're going to get what you are already vibrating, radiating out. So if you're living from those spaces of joy and gratitude, the universe will listen and give you other like experiences. And in the same breath, specifically more when it comes to manifesting, if we were to take a second and imagine ourselves receiving what we want, living the life we want, whether it's booking an amazing job as an actor or losing the weight or having a fantastic relationship, if we are living already from that headspace of having what we want and vibrationally we're feeling it, how would we feel if we had those things? We would feel joyful and grateful, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So by living joyfully and gratefully, not only will the universe give you other experiences to amplify those emotions, you are already matching the signal of the goals that you want to achieve. So you are living that life that you want as if it's already happening through your emotions because you would feel grateful and happy. So
Mhm.
that you're going to eventually, if you continue to sustain that frequency over time, those big goals will come to you because you're really living in that space of receiving, of accepting, of allowing it in, of being that person.
Can you explain the difference between vibration and frequency?
So, vibration and frequency work in tandem. They work together, but they're different. So, vibration is your emotional signal, what you are broadcasting, what you are radiating, the energy that is around you, your sound waves, the energy you are pushing out of your body consciously or subconsciously. And I say pushing not in the sense of like you're actually pushing it, you're not doing that, but when someone walks in the room, their energy.
Mm.
Like you can, some people can tap into the vibration of that human being, right? Because that energy is all around you. And we have an electromagnetic field around us of the energy we exude out. That's our vibration. And then our frequencies are the levels of consciousness that are all around us. There are the different, let's say, radio stations you can tap into. So frequencies can be lower frequencies, such as like lower frequency emotions, such as doubt, anger, sadness. And then there's the higher frequency emotions of love, joy, gratitude. And all these frequencies are available to us to, let's say, jump on, to tune into, to dial into. And it's up to us to choose through our vibration what frequency are we going to tune into? What radio station are we going to listen to? And that's how they work together in conjunction, but they're both separate. The frequency is what you can choose to hop on, to turn on, and the vibration is what you are emotionally, magnetically sending out. Energetically sending out. And that's like a magnet. That's what you're attracting, because you're hopping on that frequency. Yeah. And then when you're living on that frequency, then that's what you're attracting to you like a magnet, whether it's lower emotional frequencies or higher emotional frequencies.
So why do you think that joy is magnetic? Why is happiness magnetic?
Because it's contagious, because you see someone smile and you want to smile back. At the very least, you want to have an inkling to smile back at that other human being. And people enjoy feeling joyful. That's why people do fun things and go to the movies and seek out experiences to feel good, And so when a human decides to live from a space of joy, it's attracting, like they're allowing themselves to attract experiences and people that align with that energy of joyfulness. So it's like a magnet. Like, and from my experience of coaching client and my personal journey with happiness, the more I tune into my joy, and the same with my clients, something happens to us internally that allows us to radiate out a certain signal, a certain energy, and people will compliment you and say, wow, you're so happy. Like, wow, I love your energy. Wow, you're just so outgoing. Like, people start noticing your energy, and you start hearing it. And it's happened to me, it's happened to my clients, where they've even been told, like, wow, happiness looks good on you. Like, you're glowing. Wow, you look younger. So that's how it's magnetic. It's something I think everyone wants to attain, and that everyone can attain, that sensation of just being content, being grateful, feeling good. But it's also something that we need to have discipline over. So it is, I believe, joyfulness, happiness is attainable to all, but only those that put in the work will actually really learn how to navigate it and experience it and explore it and be friends with the joy.
What is that work?
The work is the vibrational work to get yourself to a space of feeling good. The mindset work to stop a thought that, let's say, we can call it a negative thought, in its tracks, and then shift it to a positive thought, soften it to a better feeling thought. That is the work, becoming aware of our thoughts and become intentional creators, shifting all the time our thoughts to better feeling thoughts, shifting our emotions, our mood to better feeling emotions so we could feel better. That is the work. And it comes in the form of meditation, what we spoke about earlier, journaling, affirming, dancing, breath work, but really becoming holistic with yourself so you understand how you function. You understand what are your default thoughts? What are you thinking moment to moment? Okay, how can those thoughts improve if they need to be improved? That is the work. It's not living your life in autopilot, allowing your thoughts to take control of you and cycle into crazy stories in your mind. It's being able to be kind to yourself while you're experiencing these thoughts and then shifting them. It's about having patience with yourself when you're not feeling good, when you are sad, when you are angry, but giving yourself love so that you can release the resistance and go back eventually to a space of calm, of ease, and then eventually joy.
So if we have a negative thought or a lower frequency thought or feeling, can you give us an example of what it might look like to switch that to a more higher frequency thought or feeling? Like, say, for example, I'm feeling sad because of something that happened in my life.
Mm-hmm.
What does it look like to switch that to a happier frequency thought?
And in this scenario, are we by ourselves in our house feeling these, or are we out and about in the world?
Let's do one of each.
Okay. So if you're at home and you're having, you said thoughts that you're not
Yeah,
feeling
you're
good, you're
sad, you're
sad.
angry, whatever the thought might be.
Okay, well, if you're
Mm-hmm.
angry, if you're open to it, one thing you could do is put music and dance. Let that energy out. Let it out of your body. Scream, shout, punch a pillow if you have to. Let that go. Honor yourself in that moment because there's nothing wrong with feeling angry. Allow yourself to feel. And if that anger turns to crying in the process of your dancing, in the process of your movement, because when I say dance, I'm just saying silly dancing, move. We're not doing choreography here. We're just, you know, we're just putting on music, ideally music that's more upbeat, more strong. We would stay away from music that can get you more sad. Let's not put a really good love song on at this moment in time, okay? This is not the time for the Adele song, you know? But you could choose a strong, upbeat song, dance it out. This is for the anger one. Even for the sad one, honestly, if you're feeling sad, if you start crying, let it out. Cry, 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 let it out. Shake your body out. Allow yourself to feel. If you start crying, you could start vocalizing out loud. I release this sadness. I release these tears as you're dancing and crying. I release these feelings that weigh me down. I release this hopelessness. I release it. I release it. I let it go with ease. And you're saying this out loud. You're dancing, you're crying, you're really releasing. And you're going to come to a peak of that where you feel you've
Mm.
released. And then you could finish with giving yourself a hug. Love yourself. We never want to walk away from these type of activities without reinforcement of love, without reinforcing to yourself that you will be okay, that you are safe, that you are enough, that you are human. You want to give yourself always kindness, be nice to yourself at the end of this emotional cycle. So finish with love, hug yourself, love yourself, talk to yourself. I got this. I got you. Can talk to yourself. I got you. I love you. You're gonna be
Mm.
okay. We're gonna get through this together. And start from there. So that's one whole big activity from start to finish that you could do from the comfort of your home if you feel that you can handle those emotions on your own, unless you're guided by a coach like myself that can ensure that you're in a safe space at the end of that. So that's one way.
And what about when you're out and about in public and around people?
You know, that one can be a little bit more tricky because there's this external stimuli that's surrounding you at the same time. As you're navigating yourself and how you feel, there's other things happening
Yeah.
around you. And what I have found that has worked for me and my clients, when we're experiencing thoughts that are just not ideal, they're sad or angry or just bothersome, I like to focus on one simple affirmation that can shift my focus to a different space. And for me personally, because I like to tailor things specifically to clients to see what resonates with them most, I like to shift to the affirmation of I am here. And sometimes I'll follow it up with I'm here, I'm driving. I'm here, I'm walking down the aisle of the supermarket. I'm here. I'm here. To shift me to a neutral space. Because in those times, for me, my thoughts are just being squirrely. They're going everywhere. So I'll tell myself, I'm here. To just get myself centered, grounded to the present moment. That's really key. Getting yourself to the present moment. Because your thoughts can be taking you into the future, but in the direction of like a future of despair and like, oh, what's going to happen to my life? Or it could take you back to down memory lane, but you're not in the present. So you got to get yourself to the present. So I always like that I am here. Sometimes I'll follow it up with this is temporary. Like depending on what I'm feeling, this is temporary because emotions are temporary. They come and go. Sadness, happiness, everything just comes and goes. We're going to feel all these emotions at one point in our lives because we're humans. So I like to tell myself, I'm here. This is temporary. I could do a deep breath at the same time. You know, no one really will notice you taking a deep breath in from the nose, out from the nose. That's more incognito to me when you take a deep breath in from the nose and out from the nose versus if you do in from the nose, out from the mouth. That's great too. But if you're around people, they may notice that. Like, what is this person doing? What's happening? You know, you know. So the deep breathing in public as needed with the affirmations helps a lot. So I would say those two things. Yeah.
It almost feels like in that law of attraction world that we have to put a happy sticker on and avoid those emotions. But I love that you said that there's nothing wrong with feeling those lower frequency emotions. Can you explain why that is?
Because we want to honor ourselves in all our different timelines, emotional timelines. We don't want to disregard how we feel and bottle it up. We don't want to throw it under the rug as if it's non-existent because it can come out to surprise us one day. And I think there's something beautiful about allowing yourself to feel your emotions through the lens of kindness, patience, and, well, let's overcome this and find a solution. It gives us the ability to have more compassion for others and ourselves, have more sympathy, understand the human condition, and really be full, complex human beings. And I do think that when we honor our different emotions, we're truly authentic with ourselves and with being able to live from a space of joy authentically because we know it's pure, we know it's real, it's not fake. It's not we're pretending to be happy. We're not there's no pretend here. This is like when you learn to honor all of who you are and then still be able to find those pockets of joy, those pockets of gratitude, of contentment, that's the best because it's like you're learning how to be pure in your humanness and your emotions. And you can genuinely say I'm a happy person because I know how to find the solutions to my obstacles. I'm a happy person because I honor who I am. I know who I am. And I think that's part of joy. It's not about just pretending to be happy, because that's not joyful, I would think. If you're pretending, if you're forcing yourself to be happy, I don't think that would be happiness. On the same breath, I'm not saying to live in emotions of anger and sadness and despair forever and ever and allow them to run your life and keep you in bed for days and weeks on end. That's not what I'm saying either. I'm saying is if you experience those emotions of anger and sadness, honor them, work through them, like the exercise that we shared earlier about dancing, crying, hugging yourself, vocalizing the release of those emotions, work through them so that you can get to the other side rather faster than later. So it's always about having the mindset of, well, how can I find a solution for this? How is this supporting me right now? How am I growing from this? What am I learning
Mm.
from these emotions? So that's the key so that these quote unquote negative emotions can become your friend. You can work with them, you can work through them so you can get to a space of ease and calm and joy in a safe and authentic way.
And how do we know when we're faking it?
Well, you feel it. I mean, you might be a good faker
Yeah.
to the world, of course. That's, you know, that's one thing, but you feel it. You feel it. You'll know. You know, you just know.
Yeah.
You know. And then people that are, I think, tuned into the genuine and authentic frequencies of joy will catch on to the fake joyful
Mm.
people. You know, you catch on. When you become so aware of your own thoughts and emotions and how you vibrate and how you affect others with your mood, you'll start picking up on everything around you and how everything is always in motion, how everything's always
Mm.
affecting one thing. Is cause and effect, how everyone is just working in a way together to feel or not
Mm.
feel a certain thing. And you'll be able to start picking up on people's
Right.
vibrations.
Right. Okay, Seekers, I think this is a really great place to take a break. We'll be right back with the episode. The Empress's Heart is art made from love, loss, and flowers. Every piece begins with intention, rooted in the belief that beauty can bloom from even the heaviest seasons of life. Using real pressed flowers, crystals, and feathers, the Empress's Heart transforms grief and memory into something tangible. A reminder that joy, love, and connection can live alongside loss. From one-of-a-kind works for your home to deeply personal custom pieces, each creation holds a story. Every petal is placed with care, every detail chosen with purpose. Whether it's honoring a loved one, celebrating new beginnings, or simply adding beauty to your space, the Empress's Heart is here to help fill your home and your heart with something meaningful. Fill your heart and your cup at threeofcupshealing.com. We're talking about being aware of our emotions because you said that you'll feel it, right? If you're faking that happiness, if you're faking that joy, you will feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So, what role does awareness play in becoming a conscious creator of our lives?
Awareness plays a pivotal role in becoming a conscious creator of our lives because once you become aware of what you are thinking and feeling, then you will then know what you are attracting and what you are creating. So if you're noticing that your thoughts aren't, let's say, ideal, they're not thoughts of empowerment, they're not thoughts of confidence, you'll feel it. What you think, you will feel. What you feel, you will think, and everything cycles and amplifies. So then you'll just start noticing in your surroundings the type of people you bring in, the type of circumstances that come to you. And then when you start shifting to higher frequency thoughts of feeling good, of understanding everything works out for you, of just going with the flow, of being at ease, of seeing everything glass half full versus glass half empty, of just being grateful, of practicing thoughts of gratitude, then you'll start obviously feeling good, you'll shift, and then your feelings will then automatically prompt you to have other thoughts that are feel good thoughts. And then once again, you cycle it out. You feel and you think, you feel and you think, but now you're on the other side of it, which is feeling good. And then once again, you'll start noticing, how are people treating you? How are they responding to you? What's happening around in your world? And you'll know. And it comes to be as simple as noticing, are you getting the parking spot right away on Hollywood Boulevard? You know, like when so that's when you start noticing, like, am I getting the parking spots fast? Is there money already in the meter when I park? When I walk into a store, someone complimenting me in a nice way, not a creepy way, like a nice compliment now that still exists out there. It is someone smiling at me, welcoming me into the store. You know, it's just, if I'm walking down the sidewalk, if there's a potential for me to trip, am I tripping, or am I just doing a little hop and a skip over whatever would have tripped me into falling onto the ground? All those things externally of what's happening around you will give you an idea of what you're attracting. Are you randomly getting discounts at the store from employees? That happens to me all the time.
Oh, I bet it does.
People give me discounts, free stuff all the time. I don't even know why. And I'm like, all right, great. I love it. But I know why, obviously. I know why. Because it's the years and years of work I've placed within myself to genuinely feel good, to love myself, and to exude that energy outward. And it was never a goal of mine to exude that energy outward. It was about me feeling good and confident and just loving myself and feeling that I'm enough. But the byproduct of that is that people actually sense it and feel it, and people like that. People like to give to people that already have a full cup. It's just an attractive energy. It's just like, wow, she's already abundant. I want to give her more, man. She's rocking it. Like, I experience those type of scenarios all the time, where people just give to me random little things, fun things, or just compliments. It's nice. And so that's how you know what you are manifesting. That's the tip of the iceberg. And on the same breath, I've had days where I'm like, Aissa, shift your vibration now, because shit's not going your way. Like, I'm almost tripping on the streets. There was one particular instance in my life where I was like packing to go out of town, and I'm rushing, I'm against time, and I'm not in the best mood because I'm like, oh, I don't have time, traffic. I have to load my car up with all this stuff, and I was just vibrating on this, like, not the best mood. I'm like, get out of my fucking way, people. I gotta get to my car. And I'm in my apartment complex, and as soon as I left my house, my wagon, I had a wagon full of stuff within luggage, and at the time I had a big ring light for my auditions. I was traveling, I needed to bring my ring light. Well, that ring light crashed right into my building wall. There's like a hallway that I have to go into to go to my car. And I was rushing, and the wagon went right into the wall. My awesome new ring light broke. And instead of getting mad, because that's what I would have done, and I was already hyped. I was already mad, because of the training that I've put myself through. And this has happened to clients too, similar circumstances. Instead of reacting mad and just now really popping off, like, I stopped, I took a deep breath, I calmed myself down, and I said, all right, Aissa, you're not going to get mad over this broken selfie light. Shift your vibration, because you're not going to start driving this way, right? So I knew, I'm like, this is a sign from the universe to calm the fuck down, because something else could have happened on the road. We don't know. Because my energy, I was tapped into not the best frequency. So I had to shift, I had to breathe. I did not get mad. I calmed down instantly and I said, "Thank you, universe." I thank the universe. I go, "Thank you for the sign." And I kept it moving. I had to thank the universe because that was a sign to just relax. And it's just a broken selfie light. I'll buy another one, which is what I did. And this is part of the training, of the happiness training, to be able to get to a space where you're like, "Oh, this happened. Great. I'm not going to react like I used to. I'm going to calm down. I'm going to shift. I'm getting signals from the universe that this is what I'm attracting. I'm attracting experiences that are going to get me more mad because I was already mad. And I was attracting another experience that would cause me to get more mad because I was on that wavelength. But I nipped it in the butt. I said, nope, not today. I'm going to get on the road happy, calm. And everything was fine, obviously, after that. But it's just that type of awareness. And these type of things have happened to clients too. It's just about being aware and having that patience and kindness to shift and calm down and center and anchor and choose to get on a higher frequency.
What you were talking about before makes so much sense now as far as like why it can be difficult to switch thoughts because when the shit is hitting the fan and you are, things that you just bought are crashing into things and breaking, it does take a form of discipline to be like, I'm going to stop this in its tracks. I'm not going to react to this broken thing in the way that I used to react to this broken thing. I'm going to come at it from a place of gratitude. Thank you, universe, for showing me where I'm at. Thank you, universe, for showing me the path that I'm on right now, which is a negative frequency one, and I'm going to shift it.
Yes, I mean, it takes a lot of discipline, but also it's the ongoing, consistent practice I've had with myself on a daily basis to
Yeah.
shift my emotions, to shift my thoughts, to open myself up to feeling good, to amplifying those emotions. It's the consistency, which goes back to discipline. Earlier, you asked me, well, what are some activities that one can do when they're feeling sad and mad, and whether we're at home alone or out in public? And we shared some. I do want to add to that when someone is consistent on a daily basis with their happiness practice in the amplification of higher frequencies and the shifting of thoughts to positive thoughts, better feeling thoughts, over time, the more you do it, the more you do it, the more you do it, it sets you up for success in the future, that you will experience less of those moments in public or alone where you're feeling, oh my God, I'm so sad. Ugh, those moments now in your life are not necessarily defining moments or these huge events where you're like, oh my God, I gotta do something to shift emotions or thoughts. You've been doing the work. You've been doing the work. So then you are changing the defaultness of your emotions and your thoughts over time. So then in the long run, you'll experience less of the other emotions, the sad emotions, the angry emotions. Or if you still experience moments of sadness and anger, which is fine, you have so many tools to use at your disposal. You already have gotten to learn about yourself so much through your consistent practice that your ability to overcome these negative emotions just becomes easier in a sense because now you're more confident within yourself.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, it's like doing that work, being consistent in that work over time allows you to see evidence of the work actually working. And with that, you start to build more confidence in who you are and what you're capable of.
Yes, and you're not defining yourself through a sad moment, through an angry moment. You know that you can overcome this. You're not phased by this. You know that it's temporary. You know that it's normal because you're human. So then you define yourself through your power to internally shift, to be proactive and deliberate and intentional with who you are. So then always shifting into a better feeling thought and mood, it kind of becomes a game, a fun game. And you're like, I got this and I'm going to win the game because I got the tools, I got the discipline, I got the consistency.
And that brings us to my next question, which I think you just answered, but if you have more to say about this, is can happiness really exist in the midst of struggle?
Yes. And not in the conventional sense of, oh, well, I'm going to be really happy right now when I'm in this hospital bed, for example, or I'm going to be really happy right now when the love of my life just cheated on me. So it's not a conventional happiness because that's unrealistic. But can it be a happiness where we can choose to feel some sense of relief? Can it be a happiness that we call growth? Can it be a happiness connected to gratitude, even in those moments? So, feeling grateful, feeling that relief, that ease, those are forms of happiness. Even when in a hospital, can you find gratitude? Yes, you can. And with that gratitude, can there be relief? Yes, there can be. Like 3 years ago on Christmas, my mom and I rushed me to the emergency room on Christmas because I had severe pain in my stomach. And I told my mom, I go, let's go to the emergency room. This is not normal. And lo and behold, I needed to get surgery done. My appendix needed to be removed on Christmas. I was in severe pain. And here I am in the hospital room. Was I mad? Was I scared? No. I was happy they got it on time. I'm like, it's not gonna burst because it was big. They put me on medication. Waiting for the doctors to come, the surgeons, it's Christmas. They're not necessarily there hanging out. The team had to be called in. But was I happy that I was in a space, in a place where I was going to get help? Yes. That a team was arriving on time to help me because it was relatively quick. Yes. And the team, when they arrived, they were happy to see me, and I was happy to see them. Everyone was so nice to me. The doctors, I'm here thanking them. I'm like, thank you so much as they're rushing me in the gurney to the, OR. And I'm like, thank you guys. Like, I was just so happy. But then I was also grateful because I was with family, because I was there for the holidays. I could have been here in LA alone. I'm gonna cry. But isn't that like nice to be able to shift and say, I was here with family. They took me here on time. It could have been worse. It could, So yes, can you be grateful? You can in any circumstance, even if it's just dire circumstances, because I know there's a lot of horrid things happening right now in the world. But just something as simple as feeling the sun on your face for that moment. Can you be grateful for that second? Can someone in dire circumstances even find a second to find gratitude for their mind to hold them in a space of calm? For a second, can you find the gratitude of, I'm still breathing, I'm still alive, there's still a chance for me to make it out of this? This is really extreme, but there's always something to hold on to as needed until hopefully your circumstances do improve.
Something that you said completely just shifted my perspective on happiness. And you talked about like the different forms of happiness.
Oh, oh yeah.
That is such an interesting way to look at happiness because I think we think that happiness comes in one form and it's that like feeling of like, I'm so
Yeah.
happy, like the joy, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But you said there's different forms of happiness. And I love that. Can you expand on that?
I've been thinking about happiness in this light for a while, where there are different forms of it. it's not just like you said, oh my God, I'm happy. Let's, clap and give each other high fives. That's an excellent form of happiness, but that's not all there is to it. I think happiness can be shifted to so many different aspects of who you are as a person so that you can walk away feeling and knowing that you in those moments are doing your best. So if happiness is feeling relief and calm, that's your form of happiness in that moment. If your happiness is feeling grateful, that is your form of happiness in that moment. If your happiness is in the form of, I am going to be my boldest, strongest self today, that is a form of happiness because you're being authentically true to you. There's no other happiness, I think, than you being authentically you. And as long as you can walk out into the world being a kind human, a nice human, but also being who you are, who you are, whatever that entails, as long as it's authentic to you, that's also a form of happiness. When someone sometimes might think like, well, I'm a happiness coach, I should be happy all the time. Well, no, not necessarily. I can also experience other things. I have other sides of me that come out in different arenas, and they're fun sides or exciting sides of my personality. But me being able to walk into different spaces of my life, being who I am, knowing who I am, that is happiness to me. I don't have to fake it. I am who I am. And that is part of practicing, to me, a happiness practice because it allows you to be authentically you. It allows you to speak up for what you believe in. It allows you to walk into spaces confidently. It allows you to stand up for yourself and even others. And that to me is the greatest happiness in a sense.
And is that energy that brings what we want into our lives.
Yes, and it's just like confidently showing up as you. I mean, that's pure bliss right there.
Mm.
Allowing yourself to be surrounded, whether it's strangers, friends, family, and allowing yourself to be authentically just raw, just you. This is me. Take me or leave me. I'm fine with it because I am good. I know who I am. That is the ultimate happiness.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
If someone right now who's listening to this is feeling stuck in lack and stuck in their lives and feeling like they cannot move forward, what is the first thing that they can do today, right now, to move forward in the direction that they want to go in a more abundant and a more fulfilling, with more self-love and self-worth?
Mm, that's such a powerful question. Finding within yourself, some way, shape, or form, the deep knowing and belief that everything will be okay, that you will get through this. It's like cultivating willpower within yourself. And I know when someone is depressed or stuck, it's hard. It's not the easiest thing to cultivate willpower to feel confident. But in those moments, really, truly doing your best to be kind to yourself with an understanding, with a deep understanding that this too shall pass. Like you have to understand that. You have to get yourself to get to a space where you have to understand this too shall pass. And if that means hugging yourself and breathing and crying it out in those moments, you have to do that to release. But it's priming those thoughts that this too shall pass, that you will be okay. But it's just having that internal clock within you that just knows you will be okay. Like you have to start feeding those thoughts to yourself. You got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I love that. So this has been such an amazing time, and something that I'm asking every guest on this theme, outside of coaching, for you personally, Aissa, what is happiness to you?
being at peace with where you're at. Genuinely having a sense of peacefulness within you, regardless of your circumstances, regardless of what's even happening to you physically. That's what it is for me. I really try to always find peace within myself, regardless of what's happening around me. And I think that's true happiness.
Aissa, where can people find you if you'd like to be found?
Oh, yes, please find me on my Instagram at Happy Mindsetter, and you spell that HappyMindsetter. And of course, I have freebies you can opt into and start your happiness journey right away.
Do you feel complete?
I do feel complete. I do. But, and I'll tell you why. Can I tell you why I feel complete?
Please.
Yeah, because I've learned to love myself. I've learned to like myself, even with my flaws. And that's why I feel complete.
Yeah.
I've learned to give myself validation to myself. I've learned to self-congratulate myself. So that's why I feel complete. I know who I am. And that makes me happy.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Wow, so as Aissa reminded us, happiness is more than a fleeting emotion. It's a powerful frequency for manifesting the life we desire. Even the smallest moments of joy, like gratitude for the sun on your face, can ripple outward and align us with the good in this world. But y'all, I also want to honor that sometimes reaching for happiness feels hard, especially when grief or loss weighs heavy. If that's where you are right now, please know that you're not alone. In the US, you can dial or text 988 to connect with the Suicide Crisis Lifeline, or text HOME, HOME, to 741741 to reach the crisis text line. And if you're outside the US, please look up the local crisis hotline in your country, because there are people there waiting to talk to you and help you through whatever it is you're going through right now. And Seekers, this brings us to our next arc, where we'll be shifting our perspectives on grief. In our next episode, we begin with the practical side, joined by Dr. Anjali Lafori, who will help us explore grief in all the ways it shows up, and how we can navigate it with compassion, resilience, and truth. I'm Julienne Irons, and this is the Hanged Woman podcast, where perspective is power. Until next time, hang in there, Seekers.